This tutorial is all about Goretex, a wonder fabric that's very useful to people who have an active outdoor life. Goretex is used for lots and lots of different types of outdoor clothes. I'm going to start by looking at the difference in properties of nylon and Goretex, and both of these are used for outdoor coats, but Goretex has got superior properties. Nylon's great for making this kind of sports type outdoor jacket. It's tough and it's lightweight, so you can shove it in the bottom of your bag and forget about it. It's flexible, it won't crack. The main thing is, of course, it's waterproof. It keeps the water out and it keeps also UV light out. But one of the great disadvantages of these jackets is that if you do sports or walking or running in them, you soon get very clammy and sweaty. It traps the sweat vapor, allows it to condense against your skin, and you soon feel very hot. Also then, when you stop exercising, that sweat will get colder and colder against your skin, and you'll really start to shiver. Goretex jackets are more expensive than cheap nylon jackets, and that's because it's got all those same properties of nylon, but it's also known as breathable. We're going to explore what this idea of breathable means. There are lots and lots of videos of this process on YouTube, so please do have a look on YouTube and put in Goretex and have a look at some of the animations there. So the idea of breathable is that it allows water vapor to pass through it, but not rainwater. The advantage of that is that it will keep you dry on a wet day, but your sweat vapor can evaporate away from your body and through this Goretex layer, and it won't condense on your skin. That's much better for active outdoor people because it copes with this problem of perspiration wetness. At higher level GCSE, you need to know why it is that Goretex has these properties, that it's waterproof and yet breathable. And it's all to do with the structure of a particular layer which is made out of PTFE or polyurethane as a membrane between two other layers. Goretex is actually a layered or laminated structure. Laminated just means layered. It's got 3 layers. The important layer is this central layer, which is made out of PTFE polyurethane. And this has got holes in it which are of a special size. They're too small, these holes, to allow water droplets to get through, but they're just big enough to let water vapor through. As I said, there are 3 layers. The top layer is for strength, that's usually made out of a loose woven nylon, and the bottom layer is just to make it comfortable against the skin. But together these outer layers provide protection for this very fragile middle layer. If we think of this brown layer here, rather badly drawn I have to say, as being the special Goretex or PTFE polyurethane layer, you can see that the holes here are too small to let these water droplets go through. However, any water vapor particles are able to escape through these holes and can escape outside the fabric. So as you can see, the holes are intermediate in size. They are too small to let the water droplets through, but just big enough to let the water vapor or sweat vapor particles through. Never talk about sweat being able to pass through, because sweat's a liquid. Always talk about sweat vapor or water vapor being able to pass through this special layer. This diagram shows it perhaps even better. You can see here that the water vapor can pass through all 3 layers. The dry fabric layer that's against your skin, the special Goretex layer, and also the outside loosely woven, shall we say, layer on the outside of the coat. Now actually, Goretex coats do get wet because when it rains, the water droplets are able to get through the very loose woven outer layer of the coat, but then are stopped by this special PTFE layer. And here they sit on this layer and cannot get through, and eventually evaporate away as it dries. Let's have a look at a couple of past paper questions then. Goretex is used to make waterproof clothing. It's made of nylon with an outer layer of PTFE polyurethane. The PTFE has small holes in it. The holes make Goretex waterproof and breathable. Explain how. We might say here that the holes are big enough to let water vapor through, but too small to allow water droplets to pass through. That'd be a 2-mark answer. The PTFE layer is combined with nylon. Explain why. We might say here that the PTFE layer is too fragile on its own. The nylon layer is to protect it. And here's the answer from the mark scheme. As you can see, you need to talk about the holes being too small to allow water or liquid water to go through, but just big enough to allow water vapor, not just sweat it says, but water vapor or sweat vapor to pass through. And the PTFE layer is being too fragile on its own, or that the nylon strengthens it up. In the second question, it's a multiple choice. It tells you that Goretex is a clothing material. It contains polymer molecules. It's very useful because it's both breathable and waterproof. And which of these are correct? To put ticks in the 2 boxes next to the correct statements, it says that Goretex is made from plants. Well, that's not true. Goretex is made from nylon and PTFE. Well, that's true. It's certainly not polyester and PTFE. It's certainly not made of PTFE only, so we're expecting the last one to be correct. Goretex contains PTFE, which has got small holes that let out water vapor but don't let liquid water in. That's correct as well. So we've got 2 correct answers. And there's your mark scheme answer. And a final question. First of all, nylon is used to make many outdoor clothes. Jill has a coat made of nylon. Look at the picture, it shows her coat. One property of nylon is that it's waterproof. Write down 2 other useful properties of nylon. Well, the syllabus gives us a number of these. For example, we might say that it is tough. We might say that it's lightweight. Now, we're already told that it's waterproof. The only other one I can really think of on the syllabus is that it allows no UV light through. It might also allow that it's flexible. And this question, very similar to the one we looked at a moment ago. Nylon is not breathable. When Jill exercises, she perspires. The sweat cannot escape. Jill buys a new coat made of Goretex. Goretex is made of nylon, which has been laminated with a polymer membrane. The Goretex allows the sweat to escape, but prevents rainwater getting in. Explain how. We might say that it has a PTFE stroke polyurethane layer with holes big enough to allow water vapor or sweat vapor through, but too small to allow water droplets to pass through. And finally, there's your answer. As you can see in the first part, they're allowing those which are on the syllabus and also flexible, but there are some other similar words that they are allowing as well, which mean more or less the same as the things on the left. And again, 2 marks for this question. 1 about the holes being too small to let the liquid water through, and 1 about the holes being big enough to let water vapor or sweat vapor or evaporated sweat to go through.